but she's just going to get up and decide she's going to grab this officer's gun. And as she tries to pull it out, thankfully, both of the officers are able to then keep her. Whoa.
Todd-Town family, what's the biz? Y'all already know what it is, man. Sending them positive vibes and energy to my Todd-Town family. Y'all know how I rock. If you haven't already, please hit that like, share, subscribe, and notification button so you can stay up to date with the latest and greatest content you don't want to miss. Tune in. Anywho, without further ado, welcome to Todd-Town.
Remember, rule number 4 of safe firearms handling is you must always keep firearms secure from unauthorized access. Today we get a big reminder of that. Hi everyone, welcome to Active Self-Protection, where every day we do an after-action report on a real-life self-defense encounter caught on video so that we can make our training and our practice more evidence-based. I am your host, John Correa, and today's video comes to us from Rosario in Argentina. As you can tell, this is like a courtroom scene here, sitting outside in the kind of, hallway, foyer area. You can see our 2 guards here, and they are armed guards. Now, the woman who's sitting down has actually been summoned to the court to answer a charge for hospitalization because she's had inpatient mental health care for wanting to take her own life, for wanting to die by suicide, and this particular court is apparently about committing her involuntarily for some more inpatient treatment. Not sure exactly how the laws on that work there, but she's just going to get up and decide she's going to grab this officer's gun. And as she tries to pull it out, thankfully both of the officers are able to then keep her, at least for the interim, from pulling that gun out until a 3rd and 4th officer. You see the 3rd one shows up and uses a neck restraint to pull her off, get her off her balance. Once she does, she lets go, and they are able to get her into custody and put some handcuffs on her. Now, if you go read the news story, it's just the tiniest bit of details in that news story. I'm not sure if she ended up facing more criminal charges for this. I kind of hope not. This clearly was an attempt at death by suicide here. And so I'm glad that they were able to stop that in this case and hope they got her the help that she needed. No one was hurt.
She shouldn't. Now,
I know this happened to an Argentinian cop, but I think it's applicable to anyone who openly carries a firearm, particularly for the way that this attack went down. So I'm doing it as a non-badge cam. Let's think about the lessons. If you know me, or if you followed Active Self-Protection for any length of time, you know that mental health care is extremely important to me. And people in mental health crisis have a special place in my heart. This has been a big thing in my own family, and we've had significant personal experience with suicide attempts and with suicide. And so, I just hope that this woman gets the help that she needs. And I'm not here to cast aspersions on her. Now, that also said, note that the officers here who are just hanging out, listen, that's great, and you're not going to end up, having perfect situational awareness, okay? Nobody gets, well, I always see everything that's going on behind me. I always stand with my back to the wall or whatever. No, you don't. Let's be honest, you don't. But if you're going to openly carry a firearm, this is one of the big reasons that you want to make sure that that firearm has active retention in the holster.
At least level 3.
Okay, so that's just not just a thumb break, on a leather pancake holster. If you are openly carrying a firearm, it absolutely has to have active retention, at least a level 2 retention, if not a level 3. And particularly for duty carried firearms, I really like, again, minimum level 2, but level 3 is better. I don't want you to have to solve a Rubik's Cube, but you want to be able for the holster to give you a few seconds to start your response. And I think the officer did a really good job of responding here, that she stuck her hand on the gun. And in our general rule of what kind of response is best is you want to jam that gun back into the holster, have your hand on their wrist, your second hand on the back of the slide of your gun, and then you want to drop to the ground and put your weight on that gun. If you're carrying it on your hip, you want that hip towards the ground, and you want the ground to help you keep that gun in there. And that's a rudimentary first step approach, right? So again, no retention holster is going to help you for forever. Simple as that, right? It's eventually they're going to be able to get that gun off your person. So you got to be able to do the thing. So again, concealers, when you're concealed, you don't have this problem because they don't know that it's there unless you're concealing very, very poorly. Now, note here that the officer comes in and ends up with her in a like a neck restraint of some kind. I don't have a problem with it in this particular case because deadly force would be authorized. She's trying to pull this gun out of an officer's holster. If a different officer had pulled a gun and shot her, that would have been justified conduct,
Facts.
in my opinion, because she represented a deadly threat to the officer trying to take a gun off of the officer. Now, we know in this particular case that it is an attempt at death by suicide because we have the background. But I don't think those officers had that background, and this just looks, feels, acts to them like somebody is trying to take their gun and maybe hurt somebody with it. Them, not themselves necessarily, one of the officers, somebody else that's in the court. So would have been authorized. Just remember, for my jujitsuka, for my people who are doing submission grappling, submission attempts are going to be seen as deadly force by the court. So make sure that it's a situation that warrants the use of deadly force before you apply any kind of choke for sure. If deadly force is authorized, all bets are off and the choke is authorized at that point. Now, thankfully, they didn't shoot this woman. And I think that was a great and right choice. And thankfully, they were able to kind of swarm her and overwhelm her. Make sure that if you're working with a team that you are communicating and that you're working together well as a team. And again, I hope this woman gets the help that she needs. I hope that rather than additional charges that maybe she gets the hospitalization that she needs, gets her medication sorted, gets things correct so that she can go on and live a productive life. Make sure if you're an open carrier that you know how to protect your firearm, because that is an important part of covering your ASP.
That could have ended very badly. I'm glad that they were able to get it under control. I got a few things to say. I don't even think he mentioned first thing is never have your back turned. I think as a CO, especially somebody on duty with a mental patient behind you, never ever have your back turned towards that mental patient. I mean, let alone anybody. I think that should have been an uncomfortable feeling for her or them as a CO. As guards, you should almost feel those bodies behind you. That's number one. Never have your back turned. Number two, he did mention the retention on the holster. I say level 3. He said minimum 2. I'll say 3. If you open carry in any situation, whether it's in person as a regular civilian, on duty, off, whatever, I'll say level 3. Because eventually, like you say, with enough tug and hug, they'll be able to get it out. So level 3, yeah, man. I do want to say too, mental health, very big thing. It's a sad case, and it's unfortunate to witness someone wanting to take their life. It's never a good thing. So I do definitely hope that she get the helps that she needs. She was actually quite bigger than a guard. She could have. That was another thing I wanted to mention. If that was, let's just say, anybody that was more fit, or quick, like I said, that could have ended very badly. Because she was able to get her hand. If she was able to just take that thing out and start getting surrounds off, like I said, that could have ended very badly. That's why I said goofy parts on the COs and have their back turned like that. I don't care what retention your belt, your holster is. You should always have situational awareness. Always be looking around. And they kind of seem like they were just, kind of normal day for them. But again, that comes with practice, right? So hopefully that's a lesson for them. And again, man, hopefully she get the helps that she need. And hey, man, I want to appreciate everybody for tuning in. Another one, Todd-Town. I want to appreciate all the love and the support. I see everybody out there rocking. I see it. If you haven't already, please hit that like, share, subscribe, and notification button so you can stay up to date with the latest and greatest content. And again, as always, I'm checking out. Peace.
Yeah. Whoa.